How fast to gain weight post-show. So navigating the post-show window can be difficult with, you want to gain some amount of body fat, but you don't want to gain too much, because we know body fat gain needs to happen to get you back to a productive off-season state. Body fat has increases in leptin production, and leptin is a master regulator of all your hormone levels. And a lot of the reason why we're seeing thyroid levels drop down, testosterone levels drop down in prep, we're seeing elevations in negative hormones like cortisol, and then you see sleep derangements, so you're not sleeping as well, your libido's low, like you're very food focused too. So all these things around prep and a post-show, we're trying to reverse. So part of post-show is a recovery phase, and how we recover is by body fat gain. But how much and how fast? Well, the end point, and we can reverse engineer this process, because the end point of post-show is going to be when you have enough body fat on you to where you don't have any of the negative aspects that came from contest prep, and you're also at your leanest point to start an off season. So we're looking for you to get to your leanest point of body fat where you don't have any of the negatives from contest prep. That's going to vary for a lot of people, but it's also a reason why we want this process to happen slow, because if you get back to that lean point of off season very quickly, like within the first week, it also just doesn't give you all the time you need to fully bring back all your hormones. So you might get back to a point where you have a good amount of body fat, but you still have a low amount of food, or you still have deranged sleep. You still might be highly food focused. Now you're going to keep gaining weight, and this might lead you to an unproductive off season. So we're going to look back at that lean point of your off season where you know you're really productive at, where you're at your strongest in the gym, and work backwards. So what body fat are you currently at now? So if you're a bodybuilder, maybe that's 3% body fat. And you know, when you get to that 10% body fat range, you start feeling your best. And so we have 7% body fat now to work with. And we're going to scale this across usually 4 to 8 weeks, which I prefer, like kind of that 6 to 8 week mark, and allowing about 3 to 4% increase in body weight the first week post-show. And some of this is going to be glycogen weight to occur. Then the next week we can cut that in half. Then the next week we can cut that in half. So then we can scale that back of like across this 6-week period. And this, we want this 7% body fat increase with, we know some of this is not going to be purely body fat, that we can have this rate that occurs. So you incrementally go up and not just gain weight too quickly, but also too slow, and not get to that point where you're most productive in your off season. So if you want to see exactly how to do this, come to J3U. We have a whole post-show module that shows you exactly what to do with nutrition, cardio, PEDs, monitoring your labs to help adjustments on any health derangement that you had occur in that post-show phase. But that should give you an idea of the framework of how fast and how much you should be gaining body fat in your post-show period.